I recognize the Honorable Child Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. I rise to seek leave of the House to suspend the provisions of Standing Order number 69, which provides that every motion requires notice. In this case, I seek to move for the suspension of the standing order so that we debate a critical motion as we belatedly commemorate the Day of the African Child, which is remembered every year on the 16th of June. It is therefore for this reason that I require the indulgence of this House to move this motion.
The Minister seeks leave of the House to suspend provision of Standing Order number 69, which provides for motions without notices. Is there any objection? No objection. Agreed to. And leave to suspend the standing order is granted. I call upon the Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. I move for the suspension of provisions of Standing Order number 69, so that I introduce the motion on the belated commemoration of Day of the African Child. Honorable Speaker, sir, the motion I want to present relates to the belated commemoration of the Day of the African Child. May I inform this House that in commemorating the Day of the African Child, we honor students who were mercilessly gunned down in Soweto by a callous Boer regime in South Africa in 1976. Following the Soweto uprising of thousands of black students who protested for the right to be taught in their mother language instead of Afrikaans, many of them were killed, injured, or maimed. Consequently, in 1991, the Organization of the African Union established the 16th of June as the Day of the African Child to be commemorated every year to raise awareness about the needs of children across Africa. May I hasten to say, this year we are commemorating this day under the theme, ensuring universal access to water, sanitation, and hygiene, wise for every child in Africa. It is for this reason that I move for the suspension of the standing order to enable the Junior Parliament to exhaustively debate this motion so that our honorable members from the executive who are present here can listen to us and respond to our concerns and recommendations. I so submit, Honorable Speaker, sir.
The question before the House is a motion by the Honorable Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs that provisions of Standing Order number 69 be suspended. Is there any objection? No objection. Agreed to. And the provisions of Standing Order number 69 are hereby suspended. I now call upon the Minister to introduce the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Honorable Speaker, sir, the Day of the African Child finds its origins in the courage of the children of Soweto in 1976, who stood out for their right to quality and equitable education. Their voices, though met with brutality, echoed across generations and became a lasting symbol of resilience, dignity, and the unyielding pursuit of justice for every African. As our fathers and mothers stood in solidarity with the children of Soweto then, we too stand today with the people of South Africa to honor the memory of the tragedy and the sacrifices made in 1976. Yet, Honorable Speaker, sir, this moment of remembrance is not without great contradiction today. As we commemorate this day, we are also confronted with the distressing acts of the callousness and brutality against fellow Africans in the very spaces where unity and solidarity should prevail. It is therefore befitting that on this important day, we remind all Africans to embrace the spirit of Ubuntu and to remember that we are one Africa, bound together by a shared history and a common destiny. Honorable Speaker, sir, while these reflections are important, they must not overshadow the central theme of this day, ensuring universal access to water, sanitation, and hygiene for every child in Africa. I rise to acknowledge the significant strides made by the government of Zimbabwe in strengthening national water security through strategic infrastructure development. These investments are both timely and critical in addressing urban water shortages and the increasing pressures of climate change. Projects such as the near completion of Kunji Dam, which is expected to supply up to 300 megaliters daily to Harare and Chitungwiza, along the rehabilitation of the Monte Jeffrey waterworks, are set to transform water availability in our capital. Equally commendable is the Lake Gwai Shangani project, a landmark initiative that will secure Blawaya's water supply for generations, together with the Nyamaglovo aquifer. In our rural communities, initiatives such as the solarization of Wanezi Dam schemes, the conversion of diesel-powered pumps to solar energy by Zinwa, and the nationwide borehole drilling program demonstrate a firm commitment to expanding access to clean and sustainable water sources. These efforts are further strengthened by development of climate-resilient dams such as Semwa and Tuli Manyange, which support both domestic consumption and agricultural productivity. However, Honorable Speaker, sir, as we celebrate this progress, we must remain honest about the lived realities of many of our people. The young people in deep rural areas, far removed from major infrastructure projects, still walk long distances in search of water. In some communities, access remains unreliable, seasonal, or dependent on unsafe sources. This reality reminds us that infrastructure alone is not the end goal, but equitable access is. Our responsibility is to ensure that these national investments translate into meaningful, everyday improvements in the lives of Zimbabweans, regardless of where they live. Therefore, as we commend the progress made, we must intensify efforts to reach the last mile. This includes accelerating rural water delivery systems, ensuring the maintenance and functionality of boreholes, expanding solar-powered schemes, and prioritizing the most underserved communities. Only then can we say that no young person, no village, no community has been left behind. Honorable Speaker, sir, imagine waking up each morning, not to go prepare for school, but to embark on a journey in search of water. Imagine beginning the day, not with dreams and aspirations, but with uncertainty of where your family will find water that day. For many African children, this is not a story, nor is it imagination. It is reality. Many believe justice exists in courtrooms, in laws, or constitutions. But I submit that justice exists when every child has access to basic needs. Justice exists when children are in classrooms, not in queues at rivers or boreholes. Justice exists when children can live healthy lives free from preventable diseases. How then can we speak of fairness when some children walk kilometers under the scorching sun just to fetch water? How can we speak of equality when some arrive at school already exhausted? How can we speak of development when poor sanitation and hygiene continue to compromise children's health, education, and future? Poor access to water does not mean it creates thirst alone. It steals time. It steals opportunities. It steals education. Every hour spent in search of water under the scorching sun is an hour taken away from learning and from building a better future. I call upon our government to accelerate investment in sustainable water infrastructure. There is need to maintain existing systems, improve sanitation facilities in schools, and increase targeted funding for communities facing chronic water shortages. No child should be denied access to water simply because of where they live. Because water is not just water as it is. Water is life. Water is health. Water is dignity. And for these reasons, Honorable Speaker, sir, I thank you.
The question before the House is a motion by the Honorable Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs on ensuring universal access to water, sanitation and hygiene for every child in Africa. Is there any debate? I recognize Honorable Casey.
Thank you for the opportunity to address the August House on the motion at hand. First and foremost, let me begin by commending the government for the borehole drilling programs and the support it offers to the rural clinics in my constituency in Makoni. But we see to it that there are three pressing challenges that are prevalent in Makoni South constituency. Firstly, water supply itself has brought by two distinct challenges. The first challenge is the existence of non-functional boreholes. This has led to a major struggle in search of water. We see to it that in areas such as Mabazua and Vengere, there are only two boreholes, which are actually non-functional due to lack of maintenance and spare parts. Moving on, the second challenge is infrequent water supply. We see to it that again, in the areas with existing piped infrastructure, water is not being supplied regularly. So as a result, households go days and days without water, and it results in children being sent to fetch water. It is also with great sorrow that I actually report that a child drowned in a well earlier this year in Rusape. Lastly, sanitization in schools in my district, in my constituency, is being compromised due to water shortages. Now, we see to it that due to the absence of resources and reliable water facilities, many schools in Makoni district have resorted to the use of Blair toilets. Now, these Blair toilets, these facilities present serious health and safety risks as they have lack of hand washing facilities, and children are at the risks of actually falling into these Blair toilets. Moving on, our female learners are actually disproportionately affected as the absence of water and the absence of sanitary materials has led to these girls actually using cloth. Therefore, this comprises of their dignity.
Order. Honorable Member, please wind up your debate.
Yes, sir. Proceeding, henceforth, I propose that the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Public Works installs water tanks in schools, distributes sanitary materials to all the girls each term, and facilitates the building of better toilets and the building of hand washing facilities in schools in Makoni South constituency. Furthermore, I propose that the government budgeting processes should integrate wash facilities, and all projects done should actually be assessed on the development, on the catering that they do for all the children in my constituency. With this, I proudly propose. Thank you.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Kudakwash.
Ndinokutendai sachigaro nemukana wamatipa uno. Toda kutanga nekutenda hurumende yeZimbabwe nokuda kwezvayakatiitira muGutu Central Constituency. Taimbova nedambudziko remvura asi takawana zvibhorani zvakawanda. Iye zvino vana kana vakange vatofamba vakatonga vatofamba nzira yakareba kufamba less than 1 kilometer kuti wane mvura, tinozvitenda izvozvo. Uye kune mamwe primary school vasikana vari kupiwa zvavanoshandisa. asi zvisinei zvibhorani zvinoda kwakufamba kwenguva zvinotika pakusaka zvitakabudisa mvura ine ngura. Vana vakupedzera vakumwa mvura ine ngura votaka kubatira zvirwere. Zvino vana ava ndo vatiri kuti ndo vatungamiriri vedu vemangwana. Zveshe watingada here kuzotungamirirwa mangwana nevatungamiriri vane zvirwere zvemwoyo, vane matumbu akadambuka. Pachikonzero chekuti pavanga vari vadiki vaimwa mvura ine ngura, tikasvika pazvibhorani izvi pane matepe iwayaya, unosvika unowana vamwe vari kuwacha, vamwe vari kufarimwa dzimombe dziri kumwira ipapo, vamwe vachikwaruka ine zvigubhu zvakasviba, vamwe vane zvigubhu zvakasviba, mabhiridhi ari kuya nemabhara emasimende, pane uchapa wazara ipapo, zviri kukonzera kubuda kwezvirwere. Magutu tinowana vezvipatara vachisa maposta kungoti kwakadai vana vakubayiwa kudzivirirwa korera, noda kuti zvirwere zvakawanda. Hazvaigona here kuti hurumende itibatsirewo sevanhu vemagutu kuti panzvimbo dzakaiswa zvibhorani, kunyanya tingati ministry inoona nezveutano, panzvimbo yakaiswa zvibhorani powanikawo kana vechidiki vanopuwa basa rekuti vange varipo vachitarisa kuti vanhu vanouya vachichera mvura vanoizvita sei. Vechidiki vakaiswa ipapo nguva yavo ichapatodzirwa kubva kudrug abuse. Uye zvekare hurumende bazi rinoona nezvekubudirira kwenzvimbo dzekumaruzevha hadzikwanisi here kuuya panzvimbo idzodzo padivi poiswa purification plant, mvura ichibuda mupasi yotanga yanatsokucheneswa yana kuti yakachena, painozobuda vana vanomwa mvura yakachena. Naizvozvo ndatenda.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Zeripa Zvikari.
Ndinotenda mubati wechigaro, mutungamiriri wechirongwa, vatongi vanoremekedzwa, vaenzi varipo, pamwe nevamwe vangu vepariamendere vechidiki, mangwanani akanaka. Ndakamira pamberi penyu ndichimirira mwana wese wekuzvimba South Constituency anochema nekumwa mvura yakasviba. Vakuru vanoti mvura upenyu. Kana mwana asina mvura yakachena haangave neutano, kana asina utano haangadzidze. Naizvozvo ndakamira pamberi penyu ndichimiririra nyaya imwe chete yekushayikwa kwemvura yakachena muzvikoro zvedu. MuZimbabwe kufambira mberi kuri kuitwa, hongu tinotenda, asi kuchine basa guru riri kuda kubatwa. Nhasi uno vanhu vanosvika 64% chete ndivo vane mukana wekuwana mvura yakachena. Si izvozvo zvinoreva kuti vamwe vese vachine dambudziko rekumwa mvura yakasviba. Tinotenda zvikuru hurumende yedu yeZimbabwe nekushanda pamwe chete nemusangano akaita muUNICEF mukugadzirisa zvibhorani, kuvaka zvirongwa zvemvura nekusimudzira utsanana muchikoro. Mugore ra2024 vanhu vakumana 574,000 pamwe nezvikoro 156 vakawana mvura yakachengetedzeka kuburikidza nezvirongwa izvi. Izvi zvinotiratidza kuti bazi redu rinoona nezveutano nemachengetedzero evana riri kufambira mberi. Ndinotenda. Asi semumiririri wevana ndinopa zano idzva. Hurumende ngaivange National School Water Innovation Program. Chikoro chega chega ngachive nematangi ekukohwa mvura yesolar powered bore uye water monitoring club inotungamirirwa nevadzidzisi vedu. Kirabu iyi ingashandise nharembozha kutumira mashoko kana mvura ichinge yapera. Izvi zvichabvisa kunonoka kunoita kuti vana vagare kwemwedzi vasina mvura. Pamusoro pazvo, chikoro chega chega ngachidyare miti yakatenderedza zvikoro nezvibhorani, miti inochengetedza ivhu, inochengetedza mvura uye inodzidzisa vana vedu, vatungamiriri vedu vamangwana kukoshesa zvakatipoteredza. Tinenge tichigadzirisa dambudziko remvura pamwe chete nekuchengetedzesa nharaunda.
Honorable member, please wind up your debate.
Ndinotenda. Mukupedzisa ndinoda kuyeuchidza imba ino kuti mvura yakachena haisi chipo, haifanire kushamisira, ikodzero, kodzero yemwana tikapawana mvura yakachena tinenge tichimupa utano, kana tamupa utano tinenge tichimupa mukana wekudzidza, iyo iri kodzerozve. Kana tamupa dzidzo tinenge tamupa ramangwana. Ngatibatanei sevatungamiriri vamangwana kuona kuti hakuna mwana muZimbabwe.
Honorable member, your time is up.
Ndinotenda.
Any further debate? I recognize Honorable Kau Muchenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. I represent Mzaraban District as the junior senator. I would like to applaud our Rural District Council under the Ministry of Local Governments and Public Works for the private school inspection program. However, Honorable Speaker, sir, we say we have private schools. You have 8 private schools in Mzaraban District, but from all those 8, only 2 of them are registered, Honorable Speaker, sir, which is causing all these challenges that are uprising, the challenges of not having proper sanitation, the challenges of having water that is not safe being given to our children in private schools. Honorable Speaker, sir, we say that private schools are independent colleges, but my concern is that if they are private colleges, children are drinking water from a 20-liter bucket, not tap. Honorable Speaker, say, 300 children are sharing one public toilet. So with that, Honorable Speaker, say, I urge the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education to promote the school visits in private schools in Mzaraban District, as well as the Ministry of ICT to provide all junior MPs advanced iPads, so that the very moment we receive information of children being abused in private schools, we report it directly to the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of ICT. With that being said, Honorable Speaker, say, I raise my case.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Cherish Chanda.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm Honorable Cherish Chanda of the Special Constituency representing children with disabilities. I want to thank the Ministries of Lands and Water and the Ministry of Health in conjunction. They supplied lots of boreholes in the villages, piped water even in cities and villages. Thank you for that gesture, which is in line with Vision 2020, 2030 and SDG 6. However, we continue to have some problems of broken toilets and fewer wash points in some schools, for which reason I want to recommend to the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education to have wash points in all schools and clean water in the schools. I want to highlight a cross-cutting issue on water in terms of disaster preparedness. There are times when we have cyclones even contaminating water and even causing death. I'm worried about students with disabilities or children and people with disabilities for disaster preparedness, whereby the blind people would need radio signals or audio signals. I would like to also emphasize that for that issue again, those with hearing impairments cannot hear what is going on, so they would need visual signals, and those with wheelchairs or physically disabled would need airlifting to safe points. It is important to protect all children, so we don't want dangers of death. Therefore, I urge that we have safety in terms of water supplies that are clean to prevent diseases such as diarrhea and cholera. I thank you.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Ronald.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I represent my constituency of Umzingwane in Matebelele South. I rise with Ubuntu to support this motion. Honorable Speaker, sir, let me first acknowledge what has been done by the government in my constituency. I thank our senior senator, Honorable Tambudzani Mugandi Muhadi, our MP, Honorable Brigadier General Levi Mahlome, and government through RIDA and Umzingwane Rural District Council for drilling boreholes in Escotini and Colenbone, and for the $25,000 Mlomoliwoto piped water scheme in Ward 5 that saves 108 villages. This shows commitment to Section 77A and Vision 2030. Honorable Mr. Speaker, sir, however, water without proper sanitation and hygiene leaves our children at risk. Two major issues remain. Issue number one, sanitation. In Umzingwane, wards 3, 6, 11, and 18, and in rural schools across all 10 provinces. One, safety of toilets, collapsing structures, risk injury, open defecation, still practice where toilets are absent. No privacy and dignity, especially for the girls. No inclusivity, no disability-friendly toilets. Poor hygiene, no soap or cleaning materials. No hand washing facilities.
Order. Honorable member, please wind up your debate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I would like to jump to the second issue, hygiene. Unsafe food handling.
Order. It's Honorable Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. I withdraw my statement.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Hygiene. Unsafe food handling in schools leads to diseases. Poor or solid waste management causes environmental pollution. Honorable Speaker, sir, here are my smart solutions for Umzingwane. I lobby the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Health to construct 20 inclusive safe toilets with hand washing stations in the 10 West schools by December 2026, budget tracked via devolution. I lobby the Ministry of Women Affairs to supply reusable pads and disposal bins quarterly to all 8,000 girls in Umzingwane starting January.
Honorable member, your time is up.
Thank you very much.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Leona Nico.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, for recognizing me. I'm Honorable Leona Nico Mchatisi, and I would firstly like to acknowledge the government's work for the school feeding program that has been a very great contribution to the health of us, the children. Building on that progress, Honorable Speaker, sir, the Ministry of Health and Childcare should increase the prioritization of menstrual hygiene. Sanitary pads are not a luxury. They are a basic hygiene necessity. Every year, budgets are presented. Millions are allocated to different sectors, but girls are still missing school because they can't afford a packet of sanitary pads. I therefore call upon the Ministry of Health and Childcare to please increase funding for free different brands of sanitary pads in public schools and leave no girl behind. Please invest in sanitary pad dispensers. They should be mounted on the wall right next to the pad bins. The same way we can find condoms even in the new Parliament building toilets is the same way that we should find the pad dispensers. We should walk around calm, knowing that even if I start my cycle, I can enter any public bathroom in the country and find a stocked pad dispenser. Please increase the funding for menstrual health education. The teachers in school need to be educated on endometriosis. They should know how to handle and care for girls experiencing cramps and not treat us like we are looking for excuses to run away from school or looking for attention. Please increase the funding for local production of reusable pads. Provide resources for the production, the sewing machines, the clothes, the material, and the tailors, so that even us, the girls, will be taught how to make them for ourselves. A government budget reflects its priorities, and investing in menstrual hygiene and health.
Honorable Member, please wind up your debate.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. So please, may the ministry stop treating menstrual hygiene as an afterthought and start treating it as a national priority that it deserves to be. I thank you.
What's your point of order, Honorable Member?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, sir. The Honorable Member should sit down when you say order. I thank you.
Honorable members, when I say order, you are supposed to sit down as Honorable Ronald has said. Is that clear? Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Thandika Peza.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, for this opportunity. I want to sincerely applaud the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education for leaving out the theme ensuring universal access to water, sanitation and health for children in Africa through the daily provision of warm meals and the monthly supply of sanitary wear for the girl child. You have restored dignity, health and attendance for thousands of learners. Thank you for that. There is, however, one group of children who must not leave behind. Learners with spinal bifida, CP, and intellectual disability who are incontinent and require adult diapers. For our younger children, baby diapers are manageable for parents, but for older learners, adult diapers are a serious challenge. Health practitioners recommend at least 4 changes a day. Adult diapers are very expensive and most parents cannot afford them. So learners try to conserve. They change less often and it creates real difficulty. For the learners' health, comfort, dignity and for everyone around them. Just as the ministry has ensured sanitary each month I kindly appeal for the same consideration for these learners. Providing adults diapers is not a leisure. It is a healthy necessity. It is a dignity. It is inclusion. Let us ensure that universal access truly means every child. Thank you.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Prosperity Chauke.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Honorable Speaker, sir, a child must not choose between using a bush and going to school. However, that is the current situation for most children in Beitbridge is today. Honorable Speaker, sir, in Ward 3, Dite, Ward 5, Chipise, and Ward 9, Machani, we are denying our children their dignity. As the UNICEF reports of 2022 confirm, Honorable Speaker, sir, only 37% of schools in Mad South have adequate toilet facilities. At Dite Primary, 340 learners share 4 pit latrines. At Chashingo Secondary, girls lose 5 school days every month. The reason being, there are no doors, there is no water, there are no pads, Honorable Speaker, sir. At Machani Primary, learners walk 200 meters into the bushes just to find convenience for themselves, which end up in most of them getting raped, especially the girl child. Honorable Speaker, sir, the result is shame and sickness. First of all, I would like to commend the work of the government who have built four toilet blocks since 2021 through devolution and CDF. However, Honorable Speaker, sir, 4 out of 32 schools is not enough. We are still leaving 28 schools behind, Honorable Speaker, sir. Honorable Speaker, sir, I would like to urge the government through you to take 2 urgent actions. The first one being the ring fencing of 25% of devolution funds to Mad South for the construction of girl-friendly toilets in all 32 schools in Beitbridge East within 24 months.
Order. Honorable Member, I said order. Please wind up your debate. You may proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. I will proceed. The second, the establishment of a $500 sanitation grant per school per term for soap, repairs, and pads, and the enforcement of the SI 106 of 2005, which state that no schools must open without water and toilets. Inspectors must report to the House every term. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is not just about bricks. This is about the girl child in Chipise. This is about the boy child in
Honorable
Machani.
Member, your time is up.
Thank you.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Kennedy.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. And I may represent from and I'd like to commend the government for its commitment to offering for access to water and sanitation for all. By championing the movement for better toilets, you protecting the dignity, health and independence of our disabled communities to ensure that no one is left behind. While commend the foundation of steps taken under Section 77 of the Constitution in the National Disability Act, as the topic demands universality, I would like to highlight the challenges being faced by the people living with disability in your constituency. What are we talking? Toilets are not accessible. There is none of those, no windows, high toilet seats, no space for wheelchairs to clean. Hygiene is not accessible. Posters are useless without audio or provision for the blind. No rooms in schools, clinics, public toilets, often of them are the steps only. And I would like to highlight the things that can be done by the government. Firstly, the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. It must introduce inclusive infrastructure design, ramps and railways, install a complete ramps at all water collection points and latrines. Secondly, wide doors, ensure all facility entries are at least 9 centimeters wide to accommodate wheelchairs with working friends. Thirdly, visual indicators. Use bright contrasting colors and windows in pixel pattern to assist individuals with visual impairments, and introduce every hygiene poster with clear vision within a resident case.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Trish.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to start by acknowledging the great works that have been done by the government of Zimbabwe. Through the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, the Ministry of Women Affairs, Community, Small to Medium Enterprise and Development, Ministry of Health, BEAM, UNICEF, for sanitary ware donations that have helped us as the Girl Child. But Honorable Speaker, Northern constituency where I come from, we've turned to face a major challenge in accessibility and sustainability. Honorable Speaker, many families cannot afford to buy pads every month. According to UNICEF, records of Mtibitibi primary schools in Norton, girls do not go to school 3 to 5 days per month. Honorable Speaker, this means that a girl child is losing 45 days for the whole year of not going to school because of period poverty. Every month, we see that these girls now tend to use unsafe methods so as to curb period poverty. Not only if this is happening, this means that Zimbabwe is losing future doctors, future leaders who are supposed to be supporting the Vision 2030. Therefore, we are saying that donations expire, but skills do not. Honorable Speaker, we are proposing that we shift to menstrual hygiene through pad training. Let us mandate reusable pads making, training in all schools through home economics and health clubs. Let us provide starter kits for fabric liners, needles, soaps, training teachers to train the learners. A girl who can make her own pad, Honorable Speaker, will be able to attend all her lessons, and it will remove that tendency of a dependent syndrome on the government of Zimbabwe. We are a country that is moving towards turning Zimbabwe into an upper middle income society.
Honorable Member, I said order. Please wind up your debate. You may proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. So we are saying that if these girls are trained to make their own pads, that means they will not rely on donations and they'll put their focus on school so that when they grow up, they can help us attain the Vision 2030 and make Zimbabwe a better country for you, for everyone. With this, I say thank you.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Tavo Chikubi.
Ndinokutenda ino kana wamandipa sachigaro. Chokutanga ndoda kutenda vauya vabva kuhurumende vatitsigira muzuva ranhasi. Zvinova zvinoita kuti ndiite manyemwe ekuda kuvatumira nhunha dzangu. Ini ndinoitwawo Tavo Chikumbu, ndinobva kuGokwe South District, Gokwe Sasame constituency. Kuconstituency kwedu mvura iri kunetsa nekuti vanhu vari kutemba nemvura iri pachikoro cheGukure. Apa mvura yacho iri pachikoro cheGukure yave nenguva, chipurani chacho chave nenguva chagadzirwa. Saka mvura yacho nekuti ichitangura zvinokonzera kuti vanhu vaite mudumbu kana manyoka. Pavanorwara kudai vanonetsekana kuti vainde kuchipatara nekuti zvipatara zviri kure. Chimwe chipatara chacho chatoti chiri padhuze chinodarika makilomita 7 kusvikako. Zvinova izvo zvinoita kuti munhu agware zviri zvakanyanyisa. Inini ndinotenda kuti nyika inovakwa nerunhu rayo. Ndinotenda kuti utano
ndiyo simende yacho yatinoshandisa kuaka nyika iyoyo. Vanhu vakuru ndivo vangatore madhakabhoni pakuaka nyika iyi. Isusu tisu mabhiridha chaiwo chaiwo anotoivaka nyika iyi. Saka ndiri kuti ngatitei maonera pamwe chuma chemuzukuru tikwanise kubatana sema-MP ese, maseneta nevanhu vekuhurumende tikwanise kuvaka nyika iyi. Nokuti pakurwara kuri kuita vanhu ava tiri kusarasikirwa nemadhokotera nemamwe mapresident. Zvinova izvo zvinoita kuti Gokwe ite senzvimbo yakashoreka isina vanhu. Nokuti vanhu kuGokwe hakuna.
Order. Honorable member, please wind up your debate.
Ndatenda. KuGokwe hakuna mvura, zvinova izvo zvinoita kuti vanhu vatizeku vaende kunzvimbo dzacho sana Harare dzine mvura. Zvinova izvo zvinoita kuti tisare tisisina madhokotera nemapresident wavo. Inini ndinobvuma inini kuti kana zvirwere izvi zvikapera mvura iyo yakachena kange yavapo, zvirwere tichazvirakasha tigozvisasanga 2030 tetripo tichingotonga tine hutano. Nokudaro ndatenda sachigaro nemukana wamandipo.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Bliss.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. First and foremost...
Order. It's Honorable Speaker, sir.
I withdraw my statement. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. First and foremost, I would like to acknowledge the efforts made by the government, working hand in hand by the Minister of Health and the local authorities in order to decrease the rate of sewage bursting by tracking sewage pipes in Glendon South constituency. However, Honorable Speaker said the issue still stands today in Glendon, places like Rijeko, Hayshot, Sussex, and Whitecliff. Sewage pipes are still bursting and some are still open, causing unhygiene to the environment and also leading to the outbreak of cholera and diarrhea mostly affecting the children. So today, Honorable Speaker said, I stand before the Augusta House, urging the government, the Ministry of Health, and the local authorities of Glendon to do proper constructions to the sewage pipes and also covering the open sewage pits. By doing this, we will be able to protect the future generation of tomorrow and the leaders by promoting a hygienic environment for everyone and let no child be left behind. With this said, I thank you.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Machakaire.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Firstly, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the government of Zimbabwe, particularly the Ministry of Health, Child Care, and the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Water, and Rural Development, as well as the leaders of Masvingo North for their commitment to raising awareness and expanding access to sanitation, hygiene, and clean water. Your efforts are protecting children and strengthening communities. It has come to my attention that as the main satellite school cited in the recent reports, Chikwanda Primary School in Masvingo North has 136 pupils and teachers sharing one toilet. Adult male workers also use the same toilets as ECD and grade 1 girls. Funding, no infrastructures fund recent in 5 years. Masvingo North MP Brian Mudumi pledged cement for toilet construction. Minister Matuke pledged bricks. It has also come to my attention that contaminated water, poor sanitation are leading to causes of diarrhea, cholera, and other preventable diseases among children. Clean water and proper hygiene saves lives. Education with schools, safe water, and adequate sanitation reduces absenteeism and improve learning outcomes, particularly in girls. With this, I thank you.
Is there any further debate? I recognize Honorable Gijima.
Ndinotanga nekutenda hurumende yeZimbabwe pamwe chete nahonorable vedu vamusiwa mumiririri wedu rwandinobva mutoko East constituency nekuda kwemabasa makuru avari kuita mukuvandudza kuwanikwa kwemvura yakachena, utsanana nezvimbuzi munharaunda, zvibhorani zvakacherwa zvakagadzirwa izvo zvakabatsira kuderedza dambudziko rekushayikwa kwemvura uye zvapa vana mukana uri nani wekudzidza vari munzvimbo dzine utsanana. Zvisinei mubato wechigaro, isu semajunior members of parliament basa redu haringogumiri mukutaura chete mubato wechigaro. Tinofamba munharaunda dzatinomira tichiona matambudziko evana, tichitora umboo hwakazara nemufananidzo uye tichihutumira kumaministry akasiyana kuitira kuti matambudziko aya agadziriswe. Ndinotenda zvikuru His Excellency vakatipawo matablets kuitira kuti basa redu rive nyore. Asi mubato wechigaro ndine chikumbiro chidiki kuna His Excellency the President ndichiti makamera ematablets edu haanyatsotori mufananidzo yakajeka nguva dzose. Dzimwe nguva
You may proceed.
Dzimwe nguva dambudziko rinogona kutobuda ritori blare kudarika dambudziko chero cheiro. Naizvozvo neruremekedzo rukuru kuna His Excellency tinokumbirawo kuti kana zvaikwanisika isu semajunior members of parliament tigadzirirwewo tiitirwewo tipuwewo midziyo ine makamera emhando yepamusoro kana muchifungawo kana kuti muchionawo zvakakodzera kuti pawo iwayo iPhone 17 Pro Max achiri muyaya taiona zviri nani uye tingamatambira
Honorable Gijima, can you please wind up your debate?
Izvi hazvisi zvekuti tifadze technology kana kuti tivhaire, asi ndezvekuti tikwanise kutora umboo hwakajeka hwezvinonetsa zviri munharaunda yatinobva kuti maministry awane mashoko akanyatsorurama uye matambudziko ogadziriswa nekukurumidza. Ndinokumbirawo ndakamirira vamwe vangu vese vadiki majunior parliamentarians tichimbokumbirawo kuna His Excellency tichiti tinovimba kuti chero midziyo iyi kana mazotipa iPhone 17 Pro Max aya tichamashandisa nemazvo uye tichita basa ramakatituma. Thank you.
I now call upon the Honorable Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs to move the motion for the adoption.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Firstly, I would like to thank each and every honorable member who contributed to this debate. Let us give each other a round of applause. Honorable Speaker, sir, I now move that the motion be now adopted.
I put the question that the motion be adopted. Those of that opinion say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. No. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. And the question is accordingly affirmed and the motion is adopted. I shall now suspend business of the day and allow our honorable senior ministers of government to respond to issues that have been raised by the Children's Parliament.
A very good afternoon to members of the House. My name is Solomon Mtlanga, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. The Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable General Retired CGDN Chiwenga. The Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Colonel Retired KCD Mohati. The Minister of Defense and Chairperson of ZANU-PF, Honorable OCZ Kashiri Mchinguri. The Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Advocate JFN Mudenda. The President of the Senate, Honorable MM Chinomona. The Minister of State for Harare Metropolitan Province, Honorable Sita Wengwa, and all Ministers of Provincial Affairs and Devolution here present. The Minister of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training, Honorable T. Machakaile, and all ministers here present. The Deputy Minister of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training, Honorable K. Mpamanga, and all Deputy Ministers here present. Chairpersons of Portfolio and Thematic Committees, Senators and Members of Parliament here present, the Chief Secretary to the President and Cabinet, Dr. M. Rushwaya, Chairman of the Public Service Commission, Dr. V. Ungwe, Permanent Secretaries here present, senior government officials here present, the Junior President, Your Excellency Tinashe Mugodi, the Speaker of the Junior Parliament, the President of the Junior Senate, members of the Junior Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, a very good afternoon. Your Excellency, thank you for providing our young people with this amazing and important opportunity to engage you and your government. Through the Junior Parliament of Zimbabwe, government gets to interact with our youth to understand their views so as to create a world in which they belong and thrive. We have just witnessed an eye-opening session, one in which the young people allowed us into their thoughts, views, concerns, and fears. The well-articulated presentations by the young people were also reflective of the trust they have in you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the government engagement session, to which I would like to welcome you all. This segment provides us with an important opportunity to have a candid conversation with our young people. Your Excellency, with your permission, I will be inviting cabinet ministers who have been requested to respond to issues raised by the young people in their debate, so that they can make brief remarks in response to those issues. Your Excellency, this program has enjoyed a lot of support from the UN family. So while the ministers are preparing themselves, please allow me to call upon Ms. Itona Ikole, the UNICEF country representative, to come forward and give a solidarity message. Ms. Ikole.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, Dr. Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa. Vice Presidents of the Republic of Zimbabwe, General Retired Dr. CGD N. Chiwenga and Colonel Retired Honorable KCD Mohadi. Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Advocate J.F.N. Mudenda. President of the Senate, Honorable Madam M.M. Chinomona. Your Excellency, the Child President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Mr. Tinashe Mugodi. All ministers, deputy ministers, permanent secretaries, and senior government officials present here. Children, the Children's Parliament, the Child Cabinet, and all children present, and my sister and compatriot, the UNFPA representative, Ms. Miranda Tabifor, allow me to write on all the established protocol. Your Excellency, it is a great honor to join you as we officially inaugurate the 34th Children's Parliament of Zimbabwe, and at the same time belatedly commemorate the Day of the African Child. To our child parliamentarians, today is a very special day. Congratulations on your election. You have earned the trust of your peers to represent their voices, their hopes and aspirations. You should be proud of this achievement because leadership begins with service, listening and standing up for what is right. The Day of the African Child is an important day for all of us. It reminds us of the courage of the children of Soweto, South Africa, who in 1976 stood up for the right to a quality education, dignity, and equality. Their bravery showed the world that children's voices matter. Today we honor their legacy by continuing to listen to children, to protect their rights, and to give them the opportunities to help shape the future. Your Excellency, on behalf of the United Nations in Zimbabwe, allow me to congratulate Zimbabwe on its election as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for the 2027-2028 term. This important achievement reflects the confidence the international community has placed in Zimbabwe's leadership and commitment to advancing peace, security, and sustainable development. We are confident that Zimbabwe will continue to champion issues that matter to Africa, including the rights and the well-being of children and young people. I also extend my congratulations to the newly elected Child Parliament, the Child President, His Excellency Mr. Tinashe Mugodi, and to every child parliamentarian being inaugurated today. You have been entrusted with an important responsibility. You represent millions of children across Zimbabwe. Listen carefully to your peers, speak boldly on their behalf. Remember those children whose voices are not always heard, those who live in remote communities, children with disabilities, children affected by poverty, children affected by climate change or other challenges. True leadership is ensuring that no one is left behind. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, and dear children, the theme of this year's Day of the African Child, ensuring universal access to water, sanitation, and hygiene for every child in Africa, reminds us that access to water, to clean water, safe sanitation, and good hygiene is not a privilege. It's a fundamental human right. Water is life, and every child deserves clean water to drink, safe toilets at school facilities, facilities to wash their hands, and an environment that protects their health and dignity. When children have access to these basic services, they are healthier, they attend school more regularly, they learn better, and they have a greater opportunity to reach their full potential. However, as several members, honorable members of Parliament, of the Junior Parliament have mentioned, when safe water and safe sanitation are not available, children are exposed to disease, such as cholera, diarrhea, and typhoid. Many, especially girls, also lose valuable learning time because they must collect water or because schools lack safe and private sanitation facilities. For adolescent girls, menstrual hygiene is not simply a health issue. It is an education issue, a dignity issue, and a human rights issue. Every girl deserves to attend school confidently every day of the month. Your Excellency, the United Nations commends the government of Zimbabwe for the important progress made in strengthening the legal and the policy framework that protects children's rights. The Constitution guarantees every person's right to safe, clean, and potable water and dignified sanitation, affirming that these are constitutional rights for every Zimbabwean. We also applaud the provisions in the Education Amendment Act, where supporting menstrual health and hygiene in schools. The allocation of resources to provide sanitary wear for vulnerable school-going girls demonstrates how policy commitments backed by financing can improve children's lives in practical ways. These achievements deserve recognition, and at the same time, we know that there is still more to be done. Many communities continue to face water shortages, inadequate sanitation facilities, and poor hygiene services. Climate change and recurring droughts continue to place additional pressure on water resources. Many schools still require improved toilets, reliable water supplies, and hand-washing facilities. Addressing these challenges requires continued investment, strong partnerships, and sustained commitment to ensuring that every child, regardless of where they live, can enjoy these basic rights. As Zimbabwe advances towards Vision 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals, universal access to water, sanitation, and hygiene must remain a national priority. Importantly, children themselves must continue to be part of finding the solutions. Through platforms such as these, young people help identify challenges in their communities and propose practical ideas that improve the lives of themselves and their peers. Dear child parliamentarians, I have a special message and a challenge for each and every one of you. Become champions of good hygiene in your schools. Encourage responsible waste management and help keep your schools and communities clean. Promote water conservation and protect the environment for yourselves and for those who will come after you. Speak up whenever you see children's rights being ignored and violated, just as you've done today. And lead by example, because leadership is not measured by the position you hold, but by the positive difference you make in the lives of others. Remember that every great leader begins by serving others with humility, compassion, and integrity. Your Excellency, the United Nations remains a committed partner to the government of Zimbabwe. Working alongside government, development partners, communities, and young people, we continue supporting efforts to strengthen water, sanitation, and hygiene services, to improve service delivery, to build climate-resilient systems, and to ensure that the most vulnerable children are protected. Together, we can build communities where every child is healthy, protected, and able to realize their full potential. So for every child here today, believe in yourselves. Keep asking questions. Keep learning. Keep dreaming. Keep believing that your voice and your views matter. And never think that you are too young to change your school, your community, or even your country. The future of Zimbabwe is not something that will happen tomorrow. It is already taking shape through each and every one of you. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and our dearest children, as we inaugurate the 34th Children's Parliament, let us renew our shared commitment to building a Zimbabwe where every child enjoys their rights, participates meaningfully in decisions that affect them, and has the opportunity to reach their full potential. Let us work together to ensure that every child has access to safe water, adequate sanitation, and good hygiene. We will continue to invest in systems that are equitable, that are inclusive, that are gender responsive, climate resilient, and sustainable. And above all, let us continue listening to children, learning from them, and empowering them, because children are not only the leaders of tomorrow, they are our partners in building the Zimbabwe we all want today. When we invest in children, we invest in the future of Zimbabwe. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Itona Ekole, the UNICEF country representative. We now